Hello, my name is Mohammed Damani. I'm the Regional Executive Chef for Mount Carmel Health System, and today I'm going to demonstrate how to poach chicken breast. This is a great way to cook chicken. It keeps it moist and flavorful. Poaching involves taking a protein, chicken, beef, fish, simmering it slowly in almost boiling water. You want to have the water probably about medium low, and poach for about 10 to 12 minutes on chicken. You just want to make sure it's cooked through. For fish, it'll be 2 to 5 minutes. Beef, really, I don't poach too often. You could do it, but not recommended. So with poaching, I want to make sure I season my water. So I have my water here. I have it sitting on medium heat right now just to get it hot. I have about a teaspoon of salt and half a teaspoon of black pepper. I'm going to add that in. There's about 4 cups of water in there. And you want to add aromatics to this water. So the aromatics are any vegetable that gives off a good flavor, or something that you would use for the base for a soup is a good example for that. Celery, onions, carrots, garlic, they all would work. Usually I just use whatever's on hand. And the best vegetables to use for this, because you're not actually going to eat them, you're just using them to flavor the water. Anything that looks like, kind of damaged or broken. You can see these green onions don't look the best. The celery is cracked, so I probably wouldn't use it for anything else. The other thing is, because I'm not going to eat this, I can use the whole thing as long as I wash it. Normally I would trim the end of the celery off here. I'm just going to leave it on, and I'm going to chop all of this up and throw it into the poaching liquid. Also, when you're poaching, size doesn't really matter. You can cut as big or as small as you want. You can throw them in whole. All you really want to do is have these aromatics release their oil, release their flavors into the water so it'll flavor your chicken. Put those right in there. Celery, I'm going to cut it a little bit smaller. Don't have to be perfect. Nobody's actually gonna eat the celery or the onion that's going in here. So I'm just going to drop these in here as well. And I'm going to let that come to a boil, and then I'm going to reduce the heat down to a simmer and drop in my chicken. So our water, you can see it's come to a boil here. You can see the bubbles forming on the bottom of the pot. At this point, you want to turn it down. You don't want a full rolling boil when you're poaching. Right there is where you want it. You see the bubbles coming through the bottom and just kind of going to the top. Not big, large bubbles, just little, small, tiny bubbles. So I turned the heat down to low, and then we're going to add in our chicken. All right, so our poaching water is right where we want it. It got the small bubbles going. We're going to add in the chicken. We're going to do 3 chicken breasts here. These will take about 5 to 7 minutes to cook through. You want to make sure that they're not pink in the middle. The best way to test for doneness on chicken is to use a thermometer to register 165 degrees or more. That's the safest, best way to check for doneness on chicken. So we're just going to let this poach. All right, so our chicken's been poaching for about 5 to 7 minutes. I turned off the heat. I'm going to go ahead and pull out the chicken. Lay it right on the cutting board. All of those aromatics and spices, the flavors hopefully have absorbed into the chicken. If you have carrots or onions or green onions, red onions, white onions, you can use whatever you like in here as long as it's providing flavor. You can also add some additional herbs, rosemary, basil, oregano, garlic, whatever you like, you can add in there as long as it's going to add flavor. I checked to see if the chicken was done with this instant read thermometer. So this is a great tool to have in your kitchen. You can pick this up for anywhere from $5 to $10 at any store. Walmart will have them, Target. In order to check, you want to go to the thickest part of the chicken. So I'm going to go right in here, and I'm going to check the temperature. And I'm getting about 169 degrees. So that's perfect. It's about 4 degrees over, but it's not too hot. You don't want to go too high because it will dry out your chicken. But 165 or over is what you're aiming for. So after I pull out the chicken, I can do whatever I like with it. I can just slice it for simple, a simple chicken dish, toss it with a sauce. I can chop it, put it in a salad. I can make chicken salad. Any application that you need cooked chicken for, this is a great shortcut to do it. It adds flavor. It's not too complicated.